And we are back. I'm here with Ryan from Playful Games. You have another VR experience for us. It's called Lucky Tales, yeah?
Yes.
Lucky's Tale, I'm sorry.
Yes.
This is. I just talked to Ted Price from Insomniac, and we're talking about how camera controls work in VR. Let's take a look at this game. You can tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, sure. So Lucky Tale is a third-person character action game, platforming game designed exclusively for virtual reality. So this is some of the the concepts that shows some of the levels from the game, and just like with a lot of VR titles, it's really hard to describe, even to show footage from the game, because unless you put the headset on,
it just looks like a regular game.
Yeah, you can't get the point of what's going on. But imagine some of the platforming games, some of our favorite platforming games, from Mario to Sonic to Donkey Kong Country, and then imagine that you're literally inside that world with the character, like he's right there in front of you, and you could just almost reach out and pet him. That's how it feels.
Well, you were telling me a little bit about the scale of the game and how that feels kind of different from what we're used to.
Yeah. So when we were first building the first prototypes from the game, we did what you'd normally do in a game. We set the character to be 1.5 meters tall. There's all these kind of normal game developer things you do. A tree is the size of a tree, that kind of stuff. And what we found is when you put yourself in the world, it didn't feel like you thought a platformer was supposed to feel. Because when you think about like Mario, let's say, you don't really actually think about him as being as tall as you are. It's actually kind of creepy.
Yeah, that's kind of gross. That's a huge plumber.
So what we did then is we turned the scale all the way down, and so now Lucky is about this high, about the size of a water bottle.
Yeah,
it's like
little stuffed animal.
Yeah, a little stuffed animal. And all of a sudden, it felt like now that's how a platformer is supposed to feel. But it's not a question that you ever have when you're looking at a game on a TV.
Yeah. I love this because like the 3D platformer is a really cool idea, and it's kind of revolutionized the way we play games, but it's also kind of fundamentally problematic because you can't really, like, there's depth perception involved. You can't really tell where somebody's going to land.
And like the example you use, a lot of platformers you play on the TV now, 3D platformers, you're always watching that shadow really closely because you can't necessarily gauge. It's hard to tell when it's flattened out on a TV where the character's going to land. But in virtual reality, you can just lean around. You can gauge exactly the distances, and it actually makes playing a platformer much easier in virtual reality than it would be on a TV.
Yeah, and there's something natural about turning your head to get a better view of something versus trying to move a stick to adjust a camera. You also told me a little bit about having projectiles and how you would aim.
Yeah, so in the game, because it's not a first-person game, you don't have a body per se. But Lucky, the character, he's sort of aware of your presence. If you lean in and get real close to him, he'll turn around and look at you and kind of wave at you. And we've actually tried to sort of enhance that effect of the feeling of cooperation between you as the observer and the character. So like you'll run up to like a bomb in the game, and Lucky will pick it up, and then he'll just look back at you and say, "Where do you want it?" And you just kind of look where you want him to throw and hit your button, and he'll throw it right in that location.
And again, that's one of those things that you really kind of have to feel it for yourself to get a sense of it.
Yeah.
Ryan, thank you so much for chatting. We have yet another virtual reality experience lined up, so don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break. When we're back, we're going to take a look at it.